wanted to make a video regarding Tanto, which is a knife, and been thinking about it for some time lately, and I wanted to show you one technique that can definitely save your life with a Tanto. One technique only, and that technique is if you ever feel somebody is putting a knife over to you, that was the technique I wanted to show you. A knife could definitely change someone's life really seriously. What I showed you is an escape. Is not something to be ashamed of. It is an option, and it's quite valid as a decision you'll be making. When you're facing a situation that is unprecedented and is between life and death, the two things happens. Is you either run away, which is what I did, or you stand on your ground and fight. Now, if you're going to decide to fight, you need to accept that you could get stabbed. Even if you are going to possibly overpower the person, you could get stabbed. And that's one thing we need to bear this in mind. So the training that we do in dojo, we defend with knives. They're done indoors, closed doors. So I'm not going to show you any other techniques apart from the one I just showed you, to run away as fast as you possibly can, because it'd be wrong of me to say, here is a technique, you can do this, you can do that. Actually, I know from my experience, I have faced two situations with knife attack, and I used to work as a door supervisor or nickname bouncer in nightclubs in London. So one nightclub was the Sports Cafe in Haymarket, right at the heart of West End, near Piccadilly Circus. And I can actually explain two instances. I used to work as a door supervisor, and there was my head doorman, and people from the London Aikido Club would remember him. His name is Henry. Well, he passed away. Sorry, he passed away 3 years ago. Nothing to do with the knife attack. He was a member of London Aikido Club and used to practice Aikido. He was a very good friend. Anyway. With a knife attack, I wanted to go to explain this incident. We had somebody who attacked, who actually at the sports cafe. We don't know exactly what happened to before, but all we know is we were told there was a fight in the restaurant area at the sports cafe, and he pulled out a knife, and I was there, Henry was there. Without, because we were in group, without hesitation, I just went straight in, did a Yurimi, grabbed his arm from this side, and I grabbed his nuts as hard as I possibly could. Henry had his neck, around here, so we basically subdued him, put him on the floor, and he was obviously arrested. But that situation, I just want to say, was a moment where I felt, gosh, that was close. That was very, very close. And it made me think, what if I didn't move? What if I didn't do this? So I thought, well, is it really worth it working as a door supervisor? I could have been seriously injured. So this is the things I wanted to explain about my situation as it happened. And then I had another situation. I had somebody who was at the front door, and Sports Cafe was extremely busy. Customers would have to wait and queue, but he didn't want to queue. There was a long queue. He was there at the front, and we have our barriers to basically draw a territory, a space. And he said, I want to come, and it was for a special events. There was a boxing event, a boxing night with Mike Tyson, and so you can imagine there was a lot of people, a lot of guys who wanted to come. Anyway, he said, can I come? And I said, well, you have to queue. And he just pulled out a knife if I don't come. I was like, okay, wait, I'm just going to check with the reception, see what we can do. So I stayed very calm and went to the reception, and I said to the girl, call the police now, tell them there's a guy with a knife, and I'm just trying to keep the situation very calm. And she did. She called 999, and within minutes I was there. I was telling the door supervisors to keep their distance, and I was just explaining that we have a situation, guy with a knife, but I don't want the situation to be too aggravated. He hasn't done anything yet. So within minutes, and Haymarket is only a one-way, cars driving down, but when the police arrived, they were driving the opposite way, and they're driving about 5-6 police cars, and really quick, with dog handlers. And as soon as I arrived, I pointed a finger, it's him, and they arrested him quickly. So I thought the second event with a knife was a bit more clever. I didn't have to get involved and risk myself. And he had a big kitchen knife. So I just wanted to say, knife can really change someone's life. And some people who've been stabbed will never get a full and normal life. Injuries could be too serious for them to lead another normal life as they used to before. So that is why knife is to be treated very cautiously, and that is why I would not want to do any videos showing how to defend with certain attacks, because by doing that I would show exactly how to attack, and that is not what I want to do. I don't want this video to end up with a wrong crowd of people may have ideas, and that's the main reason I will not show that. But I wanted to say, this is important. If you decide to stand on the ground and fight, you have to be ready. One, that you could get harmed. Two, that you could be fatal. And one of the things that, in order to be, I would say, get a chance, is to be ready whereby you accept you could die. So therefore, it's almost like, not that you don't care, but you have accepted inside that it's life and death, and I do whatever is necessary for me to stay alive. And that's what I'm trying to say. Other thing that you could do, and one thing that I think is very useful, you have a jacket, you could wrap it around and give you a form of protection, so it could be used to block or take a chair, give you a distance. It's good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just keeping the distance away from the attacker. But my advice is what I showed you. If you can, run away. I'm a dad, I've got children. There's nothing more important for me, and that is I will stand onto my ground to defend my children, absolutely. That will be no hesitation. My family, no hesitation. But when you're not here and you have this option of going home and see them again, please run. There's nothing wrong with that. The other thing I wanted to say is these knives attacks are not done like when we prepare ourselves, we bow together and we just accept. There is a respect in some form where we have a chance. These knife attacks are not done like that. You could be walking and somebody from behind, all the sort of things, and then you feel, what was that? And you start bleeding. You've got kidneys damage. So you need to be aware of that. And often these knife attacks are done in group. They're not done with one individual who will be showing a knife. They'll be done in groups, so you'll be probably thinking you'll be fighting with somebody and there'll be somebody else in the back and whack, it gives you one big jab. And when adrenaline kicks in, you feel quite strong and you carry on. It's when the adrenaline goes away after survival mode, that's when you feel all these injuries, you feel in serious pain, and sometimes you may collapse, you might just drop, because the adrenaline at that time was there to keep you alive, to make your body strong as possible for survival. So I just wanted you to be aware that this video I've made, and I'm sorry about my emotional feeling towards a friend who is now gone. It's just part of life. But I do hope this video will be quite useful and understand the seriousness. Anyone who claims they can do this and they can show you those knife attacks on YouTube, well, it's all very well. You can try, and yes, we have our techniques, strong techniques, but the reality is, as I mentioned, it's not something that is going to be a fair battle one-on-one. It's going to be one on many. So the option of running is probably a lot better than just trying to, stand on your ground, unless you're here to protect your family. A chair is good, or a table, anything that you see, a pot, if it's not too heavy to carry, but anything. So just wanted to share with you something that I know, facing these knives attack twice, and actually after the second time it kind of made me feel, hang on a minute, do I really want to carry on working as a bouncer and risking my life? It's not worth it. And that's when I just went and applied for a job to work as a hotel security officer, and I met Paul Keates, who was the security manager, area security manager at Regents Palace Hotel in Piccadilly Circus, which was not too far from the sports cafe, but changing from nightclubs to hotels, there was a big improvement for me anyway. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see any more. There'll be more Sotai training and Bukiwaza. This is a special video I wanted to show. Anyway, thank you for watching.